Hey everyone, it's Love Welcome back to my Alpha Adventures series. Today, I'm going to be working on a little bit of a weird project. I don't know. I wanted to do something a little bit useless because I feel like half the enjoyment about playing in an old Minecraft version like Alpha 1.2 or 1.2.6 is that there's not that much to do on like a functional standpoint. Like there's only so many gameplay mechanics you can really mess around with in this version. So I thought that I might as well just try to, stretch my creative imagination a little bit and, just do something a little bit random, silly, and quite frankly, completely pointless. So there's this thing that I really wanted to do ever since I made that little gravel path that stretches down the hill that we just crossed. I really wanted to put like this water feature sort of thing. So let me see, do I have a bucket? Do I have a bucket? Yes, I do. Okay, I think I'm gonna make 2 buckets. So let's just make an extra one so we can make an infinite water source, I think, right? Yeah, we should be able to. Anyways, I also should make a new sword. Yeah, so I'm just gonna build this really weird little thing that I wanted to do with my path that I thought would maybe look cool. I'm not sure if it will in theory or in practice, but in theory, it looks cool to me. So, I also wanted to talk with you guys about something pretty passionate, for me at least. It's one of my most passionate subjects, I suppose, but we'll get into that in a second. I did want to collect a little bit of sugarcane first. Oh, whoops, I'm being swept away by the current. And I think, yeah, I wanted to get the sugarcane to make bookshelves, just for decoration. We can make a library, since we might as well, right? We don't have any use for bookshelves other than decoration, I suppose, which is pretty neat. Yeah, we're just gonna let the sugarcane collect in the middle, and we're gonna grab it, and let's just plant the rest of this. Plant. But anyways, I'm just gonna... Oh no, what? That's so lame. It just totally destroyed my freaking water. Anyways, let me just get into the topic of the day, I suppose. So the topic of the day is... What the hell? Okay, that's interesting. The topic of the day is why I don't use a smartphone. And more specifically, why I use a dumb phone and why I think dumb phones are freaking awesome. And I'm just gonna talk with you guys about this because I feel like it's actually a pretty important subject. And I feel like more people need to be at least, aware. More people need to be aware of the fact that dumb phones exist and they are an option that you may consider switching to in your life. It is a possibility. It is one of the things that you can do because you have full agency in life. You can do what you want to do in life. And sometimes making the right choices for ourselves is really difficult, not only because, there is a sense of resistance because it is a difficult choice to make, but also because obviously there's external factors at play that could make making certain decisions more challenging. And I feel like dumb phones is a great example of this because a lot of people who know about dumb phones would want to switch to one, but they don't because they have certain limitations within their lifestyle or within their work, things like that. School, perhaps, things that affect their need for a smartphone. But I would say this doesn't apply to everyone, and if it doesn't apply to you, this is something that you should greatly consider. Anyways, I'm just gonna tell you guys about dumb phones. What is a dumb phone, if you don't know? A dumb phone is basically a phone that is not a smartphone. You will often see them in the form of either a flip phone or like a, regular smartphone looking phone, except they have less features. Most dumb phones come with just the bare necessities when it comes to functionality. They'll have texting, calling, and then probably a couple other things like camera or flashlight, stuff like that. Very, very just basic needs, and that's it. My dumb phone, I have the Kyocera 902KC, which is a dumb phone, a Japanese dumb phone. It is a flip phone, and it is definitely my favorite thing of all time. I love it so much. and I'm so, so happy that I got it because it has changed my life for the better in so many ways. And yeah, basically dumb phones remove all of the crap that comes with smartphones, like social media apps, smart apps, things like that. The main benefit, I think, for most people with dumb phones is, oh, sorry, pig, is the fact that they completely barred you away from using social media, which is a huge issue for a lot of people. And when you switch to a dumb phone, you basically completely remove that temptation because you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice because when you have a dumb phone, you cannot install social media. You cannot use it. Even if you have a dumb phone that has the possibility of sideloading a social media app, which I think my phone technically you could do that on, but I'm not going to bother because that's obviously it would defeat the point. But yeah, even if you were to get a social media on one of these dumb phones, like if you have a flip phone, it is going to be the most inconvenient thing ever to use social media on it. Like there's so much headache and trouble that it's honestly just not worth it, honestly, and you're gonna pick up on that eventually, and it'll make it just a lot less desirable, which is honestly the goal, because I feel like a lot of us really struggle nowadays with social media addiction, smartphone addiction. That's like a huge thing that I think we as a society are really struggling with collectively. And the issue is not that we have this problem because we're like dumb or we're prone to it, or it's not anything like that. It's a failing of a system. Like the way that social media is designed it's designed to be addictive. Like this is, oh, that was close. This is literally like fundamentally how social media functions. If you social media is made with the same principles. Oh my god, 3 freaking creepers. With the same principles that gambling is built upon, which is called variable reward something something. I'll put the term on screen because I always forget what it's called. Anyways, this is basically how gambling works, and it's what makes gambling addictive, is because there's a variable in which you why you just destroyed my whole freaking thing. There's a variable that's designed to be as enticing as possible to the human brain, where there is just enough of a chance for you to get a reward, but it's not 100% guaranteed. So your brain craves the cycle of gambling, and or in this case, the cycle of scrolling through a social media feed or scrolling through some sort of app or platform. They're made to be enticing, they're made to be addictive, and this is literally how they are fundamentally built. So it is not our fault that corporations design social media to be so predatory and disgusting and addictive, and it's terrible. It's wrong. I feel like it is genuinely such a harm to society, and it is honestly disgusting that they're built this way. But the only thing we can control is our own actions wow, look at this pig party. Our own actions regarding this. And the one thing you can control is whether or not you choose to be on these platforms. I'm pretty sure we all are aware of the fact that social media is incredibly bad for us at this point. Like, there is no denying it. There is no arguing against it. Like, social media, everyone can clearly see the detrimental effects it has on people's mental health, on trust within like a societal level. Like, there are so many downsides to it, and I feel like a lot of us are aware of that but choose to be complacent to the system that is social media. And I'm trying to sleep, but there are no beds. So we're just gonna have to go out there. So I think one of the best ways to combat social media addiction and smartphone addiction is obviously to get rid of the problem in and of itself, which is the smartphone and the app or the device that actually gives you access to these harmful apps, which is the smartphone. So at the core of the problem, for most people, it is the smartphone, because that's what you use primarily to use social media. And on another note, like, I think a lot of us can recognize that we may struggle with a smartphone dependency, a smartphone addiction, and we can admit this to ourselves, But at the same time, choosing not to do anything about it is also a problem, and I feel like more people need to be aware of the fact that it is a problem and it is something that we can also fix, but we are the only ones who can do that for ourselves. Anyways, this is like a huge topic, honestly. I can go on and on about this, but I'm just going to give you guys, that's basically like the rundown. Oh. The rundown is, yeah, social media, bad. Smartphone, really bad. It's a system. It is designed to be this way. It is designed to harm, to keep you scrolling, to keep you on these apps, to keep you addicted, to feed you ads, to make you the product, because these apps are free, but at a very high cost of your mental health, your time, your money. It takes away so much, and I feel like more people need to be aware of the fact that there is a solution. And one of those solutions, one of many, is switching to a dumb phone. This has helped so many people, me included. And yeah, so if you guys are curious about dumb phones, I have some videos on my art/IRL channel. Where I review the dumb phone that I have, and I also review like 6 months later how everything is and all that sort of stuff. If you're curious about that, you can check that out. But I also wanted to talk about it a little bit on this channel because I feel like it is a really interesting topic and one that I can personally go on and on about. Let me tell you guys some of my favorite things about dumb phones because they are freaking fantastic. One of my favorite benefits of switching to a dumb phone is the fact that I can just be in a boring moment and I don't have the feeling that I need to pull out my phone. You know, I see this a lot nowadays, especially because I don't do it myself anymore. But like when you are out in public and you are like, I don't know, standing in line, or there's like a dull moment where you're just doing nothing and you're just kind of waiting for something. And you can look around at the other people around you, and I would say guarantee most of the people you see are scrolling on their phones. They're looking down on their phones. And to be honest, guys, I find this behavior, when it is so repetitive and habitual, I find it to be quite shameful. And the reason I find it shameful is because I feel like it is such a waste of time, and it's honestly pretty unhealthy to just scroll through your phone the second you get bored, the second there's any downtime in your day, just to whip out your phone and start scrolling mindlessly. I find that to be just like, you could be spending your time doing something better than that, or at least letting your brain be bored and present in the moment can do you so much more than just scrolling idly on your phone. Like, of course, oh my god, what the hell, zombie? If you're like, you know, texting a loved one or whatever, like obviously there's exceptions to this. I'm like, not everything you do on the smartphone is obviously a waste of time, but I see a lot of people, all they do is just scrolling on their phones on like social media, which is not very productive. I'm sure we can all agree. So that's the problem. And the problem is that for a lot of people, it is just second nature at this point, because you're so used to that, like, that action of so you're bored, there's nothing to do, you're waiting for something, there's idle time. Okay, let's whip out our phone and start scrolling. Like, that has just become second nature to so many of us. And I don't think that's a very good thing. Also, isn't this kind of awesome? Kind of love that, honestly. So yeah, one of my favorite benefits about using a dumb phone is that I don't feel the need to do this anymore. I don't feel the need to just whip out my phone the second I'm bored, or the second I'm, you know, just out in public waiting for something, you know, because there's so many moments in life where you're just kind of doing nothing, but doing nothing is actually really, really healthy and good for us, because being bored and just letting our mind rest is a really great reset. It's very healthy for us, and actually being bored is one of the main contributors to our creativity. Yeah, like it's fantastic, and I think we should definitely just be more open to that, honestly, to just sit and let our minds wander without having to fill up that time with scrolling on our phones. So yeah, that is definitely one of my favorite benefits to using a dumb phone. Honestly, another great benefit is I feel like my brain is just a lot quieter now that I don't have so much stimulation just constantly flowing throughout my day. With social media, it feels like you're just consuming noise at some points. You're just scrolling and scrolling for hours, and it feels like you're not really like doing anything because everything you're seeing is just completely pointless, and just it genuinely just feels like noise. I remember like back when I used to use social media apps and I would, you know, scroll, I would just feel like my head was spinning afterwards, and I felt like it was so much like there was so much like just noise going through my head, and it did not feel good at all. But you know, now I really don't feel that anymore. I feel just a lot more calm because I don't have like a million different things that I'm thinking about. You know, like social media is just sensory overload, and I don't think that's very healthy for us to be doing on a regular basis. Definitely not super healthy. So yeah, I just feel a lot more calm. You know, like I remember back then I would wake up every morning and the first thing I would do was just scroll through my phone because, like, you know, it just wakes you up. But at the same time, it kind of does this in the wrong way because rather than feeling like, you know, energized and revitalized, I kind of just felt anxious. Because I think social media, one of its main like emotional effects is anxiety. At least for me, that's how I felt most of the time when I'm scrolling through social media. It's just like a sense of adrenaline and anxiety. Because honestly, most of the time, like the things you see on social media is negative, and that's just, you know, actually that's basically just a fundamental aspect of algorithmic feeds, is that obviously the things that are most engaging typically get pushed. They get pushed more often, and typically the things that are most engaging are just negative news or negative things going on, right? So it's yeah, again, this is like by design. Actually, there's a fantastic video that I watched recently that I actually found through another person who was talking about social media. They linked out to this video, and I watched it and I was like, oh my god, this is fantastic. So I'm gonna actually link it out to you guys too because I thought it was such a good video. It was by Cal Newport, who you may or may not know. He wrote Digital Minimalism and another book that I forgot the name of. But anyways, yeah, I know him mostly because of Digital Minimalism. But yeah, so he basically talks about this, like how social media by design, you cannot really avoid the like the algorithmic system of which it's built upon. It is like, this is just how it works fundamentally. It is built upon a system of whatever is the most enraging will be pushed to the top because it gets more engagement. Social media is run by algorithms, so it's just kind of, you know, it's kind of just how it works. It's like you can't have one without the other. So, you know, as a byproduct, most of the things you see on social media are just super negative, which is also not very healthy for our little brains. Anyways, to circle back, I just feel a lot more calmer, that I don't have like that constant stream of noise and crap just flowing through my brain. Another thing is that I actually just don't depend on my phone anymore, and I don't really like think about it, you know? Back when I had a smartphone, you would have to bring it with you everywhere. You would always have to have it on you, and you would feel like weird, kind of like you're missing something if you didn't have your phone on you. And also like you couldn't go a day without it, because you just had this dependency on it. And I would feel like such a sense of missing out if I didn't have my phone on me, but now I really don't feel that. I can go hours without even thinking about my phone. Like sometimes I even forget where it is, and I'll be like, wait, where the frick is my phone? I haven't seen like for 7 hours or something, and I'm like, and honestly, it's kind of funny, but it's also a really good thing because it means that, you know, you're focusing on other things and you don't have to constantly think about where your phone is, and like you don't have to have it on you 24/7. Honestly, the main reason I even bring my phone with me is for safety, obviously, like so you can call people in case you get in trouble or whatever. But I really don't. Oh wait, I put this on the wrong layer, didn't I? Yeah, oops. I really don't need it for any other reason than that, just from like a necessity reason, which is honestly good. Like that is one of the best reasons for having a mobile phone, is obviously that you can communicate with people on the go. I feel like that's a fantastic feature. But yeah, I feel like putting the entire thing in your pocket, like the whole computer, is not very beneficial, which is also a reason why I really love single purpose devices. which is why we'll get into digital minimalism probably another another time. I feel like that could also be a really good topic for these sort of videos. But yeah, anyways, the main point is you can go the whole day basically without using your phone. Like sometimes the only thing I'll do on my phone the whole day is like maybe check my messages once or like set an alarm, you know? You really don't need to use it. And even when you do, it's in a much more healthy manner anyway. Like you don't actually do anything harmful on your phone. And you don't waste your time. You know, you do what's necessary and then that's it. Which is, I think, ultimately the best way to go about it. Oh look, we did this part right though. Okay, that's good. So yeah, that's basically the concept for this little, I think that looks so cool though, doesn't it? Another great reason is obviously the fact that because you're spending less time just, you know, sitting in bed scrolling, you have way more time to do things that are actually much more fulfilling, like your hobbies or being productive, you know, just getting things done that you actually have to do. Because sometimes you just like don't have you don't have anything better to do and you don't have a phone to scroll on if you do have a dumb phone. So what else is there to do than like, I don't know, do your laundry or, you know, go outside for a walk. Like you can just do a lot more things that are much more varied, like you can exercise, go on a walk, or go somewhere fun, or like do some chores, cook some food, you know, read a book. They're like having variety is so good for us rather than just like, okay, I'm bored, I don't know what to do, let me just scroll my phone. Like doing that over and over and over again is not as good. It's not healthy. That's not healthy. So yeah, I just really like that I feel like I have way more time to just do things that are actually much more meaningful and healthy for me and beneficial and that round me out as a person and also like take care of my brain. Oh, black spike. Oh, there we go. Take care of my brain and my body, you know, it's much more healthy for so many reasons. But yeah, I also mentioned a bit earlier the anxiety that you feel from social media. And I remember when I was using my dumb phone or when I was using my smartphone, I would wake up every morning and like clockwork, I would feel this terrible, terrible anxiety. I would wake up and my stomach would just be in knots from anxiety. And I didn't really know why. Like sometimes obviously you have some genuine reason to be anxious. But most of the time it was for no reason in particular and I just didn't really know why. But turns out it was actually my phone. Without even really realizing this, just having my phone be like the first thing that I was always exposed to in the morning, that really caused me a lot of anxiety. And even like during days where I didn't check my phone or anything, I would still feel that anxiety because I guess I was just like my brain got programmed into it and it would just be like, you know, like you wake up and you feel anxious. And that sucked. It was such an awful feeling. I remember just hating it. And then I switched to a dumb phone and I obviously didn't wake up and scroll. So I felt a lot calmer and yeah, I don't feel like anxiety like that anymore. Like occasionally I will. But usually that's because I actually have something to be anxious about and not just because like the first thing I was doing was exposing my brain to the endless barrage of crap that's out on the internet. Anyways, I'm gonna actually turn on peaceful. Where is it? Where's peaceful? Here. I'm gonna turn it to peaceful just because I want to continue building and I don't want to be disturbed by monsters. Anyways, so yeah, that is honestly such a great freaking benefits using a dumb phone is like, you know, just your mental health improves so much. Whatever sort of benefits there could be to social media, it's not worth it in my opinion. It's not worth the damage it does to your mental health, to your physical health, to just so many aspects of your life, honestly. Like, it's so detrimental. Like, seriously, I don't miss social media at all. I basically do not use any social media platform recreationally besides YouTube. And even with YouTube, my YouTube habits have been a lot better over the past few months, which I'm pretty freaking happy about because for a while YouTube was kind of like my main vice, where I felt like I was scrolling on YouTube a little bit too much for my liking, but I feel like I definitely got that more under control now. But even so, I still do agree that, like, I think a lot of people can agree that YouTube is not like at the same merit of damage that other social media platforms are. YouTube is definitely like a little bit different. It's kind of like Pinterest. Like Pinterest is technically a social media, but it's not like at the same level because there isn't really like a social aspect to it. There is technically, but like, you know, who the frick counts Pinterest, right? Like you're not out here doom scrolling on Pinterest. I hope. If you do, then maybe stop that. That's probably not very good for you. Anyways, now those are basically the main really key benefits. Like, you know, it reduces your anxiety. It gives you more time throughout your day. It allows you to not be so like reliant on constant dopamine hits. You have less of a dependency overall on your phone. You break the cycle slowly of needing social media in your life. Hopefully you will get to the point where you can just delete it altogether, because I honestly feel like even using it like on a web browser occasionally, you can probably do without that too. Anyways, yeah, there's so many like really awesome key benefits of social media, like from a health perspective especially. But you know what? There's actually some other things too. Like, first of all, on a more fun note, dumb phones look freaking awesome. Like, you cannot deny, dumb phones look way cooler, especially like flip phone dumb phones. They look so much cooler than a boring old rectangle. Like, come on. I don't know what's going on, but like, guys, why is technology design so boring nowadays? Like, it's like there's no innovation when it comes to the aesthetics of technology and smartphones anymore. Like, man, we really gotta do something about that, because like I feel like that's kind of part of the appeal. And like, you know, product design is like from an aesthetic perspective is also so important. And like, I think that's definitely one of the reasons that I love flip phones so much, is obviously because they're super aesthetically pleasing to look at, and they're designed super well, and they look awesome, and like there's a lot more like character and charm into their visual design. And obviously I'm an artist, so I'm always gravitating towards things that look, you know, more artistic and visually appealing, stuff like that, right? So yeah, like that is one of my favorite parts about my flip phone especially. I just love how it looks. I think it's so beautiful. Definitely much more fun than like the smartphone I had before, which was literally just a black rectangle. Like, I feel like everyone's smartphone is literally just a black rectangle. Even if you have like a freaking pink phone or whatever, it's still just a rectangle with like way too many cameras. Which honestly, like those multiple lenses on the cameras look really freaking creepy to me on another note. Like, that was probably one of the worst design decisions I've ever seen. They look so freaking creepy, dude. But yeah, also another thing about dumb phones, especially like flip phones, is they're much more easy to take apart. So you have more of like a control on the actual like maintenance, and if you need to repair it, you can actually like take the phone apart and fix it, which obviously you can't really do that with smartphones because they're designed in a way that makes it really difficult. So you have to take them in for repairs so they can charge you, blah, blah, blah. Like, we all know how Apple operates. At least like, I know this is the thing for Apple, is that they're very like, they're not very, they're very anti, like user maintenance, right? You have to take it into the repair shop because it's so like just impossible to get in there and actually do anything yourself. With smartphones, you can literally just snap off the back and drop it, and the battery pops out. Oops. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that, but it's okay. And then you just snap it back in place. They're much more durable. I've dropped this thing so many times, and obviously there's no screen on the front, so it's much more durable. Don't even get me started on like the old Nokias or something. If you get yourself like a proper old Nokia, yeah, that thing's gonna last you a lifetime. They're much more durable, they're much more customizable, and they're more easy to actually do user maintenance on, which is fantastic. So yeah, I love things that have customization, and I love things that give you control as a user, which is actually very related to Linux, which I also recently tried out on my laptop, or switched over. I switched over to Linux on my laptop, and that's one of my favorite parts about Linux, is those two things, user customization and user control. I feel like that is ultimately like the best thing about like products, is if they give you those two things, which smartphones absolutely do not. So yeah, that is one of my favorite parts about flip phones, absolutely, or dumb phones in general. But like, yeah, there are many different types of dumb phones. There's even like newer ones being made. You can get yourself like a retro, like a vintage one, or you can get yourself a modern one. There's so many options out there. There's so many different choices for different types of people, and I think they're awesome. But yeah, those are my thoughts on why dumb phones are awesome and some of my favorite parts about having a dumb phone. I've been using a dumb phone for already over 1 year, which is awesome. And let me tell you guys, at first I was really anxious about that decision because I was really scared that I would come to regret it, or that there would be some sort of fundamental reason why I couldn't actually continue using a dumb phone. Luckily for me personally, I have not had any issues like that. Nothing that hasn't been like solvable. So I have not regretted this decision in the slightest. I think it's probably one of the best decisions I've ever made for myself, because it has benefited me so much, like on such a drastic scale. I feel like such a better person overall, without a smartphone and social media addiction. Because that's what it is, guys. It's an addiction. And let me be frank with you. Let me be frank. I genuinely think that more people should highly, seriously consider getting off of social media and switching to a smartphone if at all possible for your own life. I know like sometimes there are just things that are a little bit unavoidable, like you have school things or work things that require a smartphone, or you know, social media could be a part of your job, etc., etc. If it is possible for you, highly consider getting off of social media and switching to a dumb phone. It is so good for you. I would say especially getting off of social media. I feel like that's the main issue for a lot of people. This is an awesome mountain, holy crap. Let's just cut down a few trees. Let's get some wood. Just we have it. I want to make a change, and I want more people to realize that it's such a huge problem, but there is a solution, and this is just one of many. There are so many other things you can do. Like some people, they don't need to switch to a dumb phone. Sometimes you can just, you know, just change your behaviors, and you can work with a smartphone still, as long as you're just using it in a more healthy way. It obviously takes a lot of willpower and, you know, effort, but it is possible to use a smartphone in a healthy way. But I'll say one thing also. Oh, look, that's the end, or not the end portal, the nether portal that I came out of. Another thing is, if you're thinking about quitting social media, I would say just go for it, quit, and do not do not just go full in, just quit, delete your accounts and delete the apps, because some people, they will kind of like ease into it a little bit, like, oh, you know, I'll stop using Instagram for a week and I'll just see how I feel, or I'll do a dopamine detox. Like, no, just quit full stop, delete your account and do not look back, because that is ultimately the only thing that is going to be able to fully get rid of the problem, is if you remove yourself from the damage, remove yourself from the system that is designed to keep you scrolling. They're designed to be addictive, so fully getting rid of the temptation altogether is going to be your biggest help. I feel like the best way for a lot of people to get off of social media is just to fully quit, be uncomfortable for a while. Yes, you're going to be bored. Yes, it's going to suck, but you're going to get past that, and you're going to realize just how amazing it feels to not be attached to this system, to these apps, to these feeds. Like, it's going to suck for a little bit, but you have to push through that, and ultimately I think you'll find it to be very much worth the effort. So yeah, that is also my advice. Just quit full stop. Do not like wean off of it. Do not ease into, you know, just do it, you know? If this was, if you've been considering switching to a dumb phone, if you've been considering getting off of social media or doing any of those things, let this be your sign. Let this be your push, your motivator. Do it. It is going to help you so much. I guarantee it, okay? I guarantee. Anyways, that is it for my, my rant of the day. I hope you guys enjoyed. That was a bit of a passionate subject for me, so I got pretty into it. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my thoughts. Ultimately, I think there is hope for us, because I feel like more people are definitely opening up to you know, to opening their eyes to what the problem is, and are also making an effort to try to fix it for themselves, which is fantastic. So yeah, if you are curious to learn more about dumb phones, go look into it online. Like, there are so many awesome YouTube videos out there about it. You can watch some of mine that I've personally made, or just, you know, read about it on different forums or on Reddit. There's r/dumbphones. If you want any help, people on there can help you find the right phone for you, etc. Also, I do need to go find some sand, but we're probably just going to do that next time, because I need to wrap this up. Anyways, guys, that is going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more alpha adventure videos where I kind of just yap about random subjects, please sure to leave this video a like. You can also watch the previous episode episodes that I've done where I've talked about a few other cool subjects. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see y'all next time.